So first of all, I would like to ask you two questions. And the first question is hospitality a big part of your daily work? And the second question is, are you a leader? Okay, imagine yourself sitting on a terrace, it's summertime, you're enjoying the nice weather and you're in good company, enjoying your drink, and then you listen to all the conversations that take place around you. And what do you hear? Well, in many occasions you will hear people talk about work, and when they talk about work, most of them are complaining about this work, complaining about their bosses, complaining about the management of the organization, complaining about all kind of decisions that have been made and they don't really support, those kind of things. And my first thoughts always are, and what did you do to change it? And the answer, in many cases, probably will be nothing. Because so many people wait for others to take the action, wait for others to solve their problems, and wait for others to take the lead. And that's a pity, because they can all be leaders. Working in the hospitality and customer experience industry for many years, I strongly believe that people make the difference in any organization. So it's not the product we're selling or the services we provide, it's always the people that really make the difference. And if we understand this, we also understand that there's a big connection between job satisfaction and customer experience. And if we want to exceed in customer experience, we definitely have to push the button of job satisfaction. So we can't change people. Unfortunately, we can't. That's impossible. But what we can do is we can inspire them and we can help them become leaders. And so it's my pleasure to introduce to you today Givability. But before I do this, I want to go to, if you look at people in organizations, you find a lot of unhappiness. And if you look at the facts and the statistics, we see that only 29% is really engaged and really committed. And that's a very low percentage, actually. So it says that over 70% is not engaged and not committed. And what will that do to your business? So, I want to introduce to you today Givability. And Givability is the power of giving, and it's the ultimate way to put people at the wheel and really give them the power. So before I'm going to tell you a few things about Givability, I want to tell you a few things about giving and taking. And I'm going to draw it for you. So, let's say giving, and on the other hand, we got taking. And I draw a line in between. So we can divide the world into givers and takers. And givers are the ones that are always there for you, ready to help you. They show real interest, and it really comes from the heart, so they don't expect anything in return. I know even people that are so much of a giver that even if you say thank you, that is already too much. So maybe you are a giver. On the other end, we find the takers, and the takers are the ones that only come into action when they get something out of it. So they mainly live by the principle of what's in it for me. So they basically help themselves, right? But most of us, unfortunately, are not really givers, but we're also not 100% takers. We're somewhere in the middle. And we give, and sooner or later we expect something in return. And that is because we always we're looking for this balance. And if the balance is wrong or it's gone, then we stop giving. Let me give you an example. If I greet you, I expect you to greet me back. So what happens if you don't greet me back? Well, then many people already at the first time stop greeting you, and so they stop giving. And if you're already more of a giver, then next time you will greet again. And what happens if also that second time you don't get it back? Well, then most of us will stop greeting, so we'll stop giving. Givability is about giving without expecting the favor to be returned. So let's say we have an internal switch, and we are going to turn this switch convincingly to giving. So we are giving, and we don't expect anything in return. And that is about leadership, of course. And it's a kind of leadership that everyone is capable of. This sounds maybe easier said than done. So I've got 7 principles that come with Givability, and that will help you to set your internal switch to giving and leave it there. So the first principle, let's start off with the first principle, that is take the initiative, and I say always. And there are many reasons why we should take the initiative. In the first place, by taking the initiative, we are able to change things. We are able to influence behavior, and we are able to adjust situations we don't like. Think of the people that were sitting on the terrace and complaining about their work. So another reason, let's stick there first. If you take the initiative and you change things, sometimes it might be quite difficult to do. So, but there's always a little step you can take. And even a little step can lead to very big change. So we should always take this first step, and we should encourage the people around us to do the same. There's another major reason why we should take initiative, and this is more on the side of hospitality and customer experience, and that is when we take the initiative, we are literally in the position of setting the tone in any conversation. So we can project our positivity, our happiness, our enthusiasm towards other people and influence them with this positivity. So, I don't have to explain to you what will happen next. So the first principle is always take the initiative. The second principle is receive people generously. And it's, the definition of hospitality that says generosity in welcoming people. Well, we should do this all the time. Generosity is something that is for free. It doesn't cost anything. Still, though, we are not doing it. Yeah, we're doing it when we are at home and we receive our relatives or very dear friends. Then we are very generous. But what happens if we receive customers? Then we always create this kind of professional distance. And we shouldn't do it. We should also be very warm and welcoming to our customers, maybe especially to our customers, and really be in the moment with his customers. So always receive everyone at any time generously. The third principle is make real connections. And if we look at conversations in general, whether it is with your customers or with your colleagues or even in your private life with your friends, we always keep so much to the surface. In almost any conversation, we keep to the surface. And that's a pity, because the magic happens when we go deeper into the conversation. There are some things behind it. Over the years, I found out that many people are not really interested in the other person. And this is, I think, the major reason why we don't do it. We're not really interested in this customer, we're not really interested in this colleague, and sometimes we're even not really interested in some friends. So yes, we ask a question, but we don't really listen to the answer. And we should do this, and if we go deeper into the conversation, we get a lot of interesting information. In the first place, it will enrich your own life straight away. And secondly, we get so much information out of it that will help us to help the other person in the best possible way. And I'm going to, this brings me to the fourth principle, that is always follow the principle of helping. And I want to explain this to you by, again, draw this for you. So what I draw this rectangle here, and I'm going to use an example of selling. And of course, helping is not only about selling. Helping is doing what the other person really needs, and it's not only about selling. But I use this example because it's nice. It's easy to understand. So this rectangle here, and it could also be a triangle or a circle. I'm fond of rectangles. So let's say everything inside this rectangle is what the customer really needs. And then assume a customer comes up to us with a question. And we forgot to take the initiative, and we are not making the real connection. And then he asks us a question about a certain product. And, well, maybe in the best case, we ask 1 or 2 questions, and then we sell the product. And then we're very happy. The customer's leaving, and we are very happy because we sold the product. And we think the customer is very happy because he bought the product. But in fact, as you can see, there's a whole wide area left inside this rectangle. So that means that we could have helped this customer in a much, much better way if we would have taken the initiative and if we would have made a real connection. Because then we would have found out all other things, like the wishes of the customer and the goals he has, for instance. Maybe more about the context of the question. So let's say the question behind the question. The situation he is in. Maybe former experiences. All kind of things like this, and all this information, of course, many more things can come out, and all these things help us to really help this customer in the best possible way, and so use the whole area of the rectangle. And as you can see, now the result will be much bigger. First you only sold this, now you sell this. So for us it's very interesting, but more important is that the customer is helped in a much, much better way, so he will be more happy as well. And of course, the situation can occur that sometimes you make the real connection and you find out that your customer is what he only really needs is this little part here. So what are we going to do then? Of course, we are only going to sell this little part. And of course, then you think the result is less than in the first example I gave you. But it's not true, because the customer is really happy, so he will definitely come back and buy more from us. The customer is telling other people how good we helped him, so all other people will come to us. So in the end, again, our result will be much bigger. All right, so always follow the principle of helping. And of course, it's not only about selling. It's in any case you are helping someone, the better you make the connection, and the more you find out about this person, the better you're able to help him. So this is another insight I would like to give you. Stop selling, never sell again, because selling is, well, we don't want to be sold something. None of us. But we want to buy things, and we want to be helped in the best possible way. So stop selling and start helping your customer in the best possible way. The fifth principle is act with an open heart and mind. Well, we all are very much led by prejudice, and we assume far too much. This is one of my convictions. And let me first give you an example about the first thing. When I walk on the street and someone comes from the other side, and he's still in the distance, and then I already think, this is a person like this or that, and put a sticker on his head. This is what we all do, and we do it all the time. But we should not do this, because when we are in the position that we can talk to this person, in most cases we found out that we were wrong in the first place, right? So don't do this. And the other thing is, we assume far too much, and that is because we don't make this real connection. We have just a small piece of information, and with this small piece of information, our brain starts to complete it. It starts to complete it with our own former experiences, and with our own thoughts and wishes. But of course, this is not a complete match with the customer's needs and wishes. That brings me to the sixth principle, and that is take responsibility. And you all will have jobs, and with these jobs you have tasks. And with these tasks you also have responsibilities. And I think you will all take your responsibility that comes with your job. This principle is much bigger than this. It's looking behind your own world, see the big picture, and then take responsibility, even for things that you're not formally responsible for. So again, this is very much about leadership. And we can take responsibility for many, many things, and we should do this, and we should encourage the people around us to do it. And if you are a formal leader, and many of you will be formal leaders, then we have to create this safe environment within the company where people dare to take the initiative and dare to take the responsibility. And then very nice things will happen. The seventh and last principle is create fun. And create fun means that we all contribute to this fun. The more we all contribute to the fun, the more fun we will have, finally. So if we want to create the best possible environment to work in, and when it's Sunday evening, everyone who is working with you says, yes, Monday I may go to work again, then we definitely have to work on fun. Of course, you have to take your work very seriously, but what you shouldn't do is take yourself too seriously, and this is what many people do. They take themselves much too serious, so we should not do this. What we should do is always go for the smile. Go for the smile on the face of the customer, so do what you need to do to get the smile out of the face of your customer. Laugh as many as you can with this customer, because the more you laugh together, the better your relation will be. And of course, do the same with your colleagues, and in the end, you will have a big smile on your own face. And we really managed to create the best environment possible. So these 7 principles all will contribute and will help you to put your internal switch to giving and leave it there. And so I invite you to stand beside me, embrace givability, and turn your internal switch to maximum to giving. Color the world around you and color your work actively, and inspire others to do exactly the same. Because together we can really make a huge difference. Thank you very much.